Hi, I'm Sean Neville. I'm a communication specialist here at Care Dimensions, and I'm joined by one of our walkers this year, Susan Richardson. Susan, thanks so much for being a part of today's event.
Hi, Sean. So nice to meet you, and it's my pleasure to be here.
All right, Susan, this is your first year doing the walk, but you've known about Care Dimensions for a few years now. Can you kind of tell everyone about your family's experiences with Care Dimensions?
I would be happy to. My sister was admitted to the Kaplan House uh, a year ago, January, because she was in the last leg of her journey with breast cancer. And we knew about Care Dimensions through just her cancer specialist had recommended that Cheryl get in touch with the hospice several months before that point, but then when it came down to the wire, she was admitted to Kaplan House in January of last year. She had the last 6 weeks of her life at Kaplan House, and we couldn't say enough wonderful things about it. Everyone was wonderful. The doctors, especially Dr. Heidi Blake, she was phenomenal. We had so many great relationships with the staff and the faculty, the nurses. Jill in the kitchen, Paul, the lovely maintenance man who would fill the bird feeders for Cheryl every day so she could see the birds feeding. Joan, who did the Reiki, would come and just do a wonderful Reiki session at night so Cheryl could sleep. Everyone was just phenomenal. Jessie was one of the nurses. I mean, I'm trying to remember all the names, but Pastor Ed, who would pray with us, we just were so well cared for, not just my sister, but everyone in the family. They were greatly patient with us with questions and needs that just, that had to be met, accommodating us because I basically took a leave of absence from work so I could move in with her down there. And we would have rotating people spending the night. My dad stayed over, Kyle stayed over, my sister's son, my brother, her friend Ellen. We would all take shifts of spending the night with my sister so she was never alone. And everyone was just lovely. They're loving people. In many ways, when you're in any kind of a career, you can see people do it because it's their job. But we never met anybody at Kaplan who didn't love to be in this place of serving these people and their families as they face that last journey. They were just lovely.
You mentioned your nephew Kyle there, and some folks might remember because there was a special event when your sister was over at Kaplan House. He was at St. John's Prep when your sister went into hospice, and
Mhm.
they actually held a graduation ceremony. Can you tell people about a little bit about that?
Yes. The following week after Cheryl was admitted, St. John's and Kaplan House staff got together. They had a graduation so Cheryl could see Kyle graduate. He was scheduled to graduate that May, and Cheryl was admitted in January. She lived till March, but we didn't know how long we were going to have. So they put together this amazing graduation ceremony. The faculty and professors and the dean, they all came down. They had their robes. Some of Kyle's friends and fellow students came. We had some family and friends there as well. They had a cake and balloons. It was just really beautiful. Cheryl got to see Kyle receive his diploma and lots of photos so she could have those memories for a while, but also so Kyle could have those memories for his life. We were just thrilled with that whole presentation, and it was flabbergasted actually because she was there a week and they just put this together within a matter of days. It was really impressive.
It's great. This year for the walk, it's a virtual event. It was walk wherever you want, whenever you want, and you had a special walk that you took. Can you tell people about your walk?
Yes, I decided to go to Lynn Woods. My family grew up in Lynn. Cheryl lived very close to Lynn Woods for several years when she bought her home, and Kyle walked there too. So it had a lot of connection. Family hikes, exploring Dungeon Rock, going up the stone and steel towers, following all the trails. So my husband and I went down this past Saturday, even though we know the virtual walk is being held on the 27th, which is actually Cheryl's birthday. And I painted all kinds of pebbles that symbolized different things that my sister liked or that were special to our relationship. And I placed them on the different trails so other people could find them. And it was really a fun day. I could tell all kinds of stories to my husband about some of the walks we had when we were children with friends and cousins. when we were teenagers with boyfriends, when we were in our young adulthood with other boyfriends and husbands, and when Cheryl had Kyle, we took him up there. Kyle also had his Eagle Scout project there the November before Cheryl was admitted to hospice, and he made trail signs up there. So we all were part of that. It just had a whole lifelong attachment.
That's great. That's great. I finally just want to ask you, we're asking a number of walkers this year why they walk, and I guess I would just ask you, why was it important for you to do an event like this?
Well, clearly I wanted to remember my sister in a special way. And I love to do these kinds of fundraising events and memorial events that are special to any kind of a cause that I believe in, but especially with Care Dimensions. I really love what they did for our family and for my sister. So I really truly wanted to be a part of this and commemorate it in some way and remember my sister and support Care Dimensions. So I chose to do the walk in honor of Cheryl, in support of Care Dimensions, in my own special way, at a place that has great meaning to my family, to me, to my sister, and do something creative and leave these little pebbles for others to find. I actually wrote on the back of them, Walk for Hospice 2020 in memory of Cheryl. So it was just nice to have that so others could find them and see that. And then hopefully they will look it up online and say, what's this all about? And learn a little bit about Care Dimensions as well.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for doing that, Susan, and thank you for sharing your story with everybody today. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking me to be part of this.